All right, guys, welcome back to the channel for yet another Real Talk episode. Today, we're going to be talking about what is the best handgun. If you just had to choose one handgun, what is the best one for you to choose for all applications, and why is it a Glock? Hot take right there, guys. Another hot take. It's not the Glock trigger that sucks. It's just you that suck. It's your grip. It's your vision. It's you anticipating the shot. That's why you're missing everything low left. It's not the Glock. The Glock is perfect. It's perfection. It's been perfection for over 4 decades now. So let's get right into it. But before we do have to take a moment to thank the biggest sponsor of the channel, which is Brownells. If you guys do want to support the channel, head over to rangedaybro.com, pick up any of our merch. We have our discounts page, our loadouts page, and we have an email list over there. Sign up for that. We send out some of the best deals we could find on the internet. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what handgun you would choose if you had to just pick one for every single application, whether that be for concealed carry, for duty use, for shooting in competitions, for a war belt setup, all of those things. What one handgun kind of checks that box for you? Or if you don't have it yet, what one are you looking forward to getting? So now, before we dive into the few minor upgrades that we have on this Glock 19X right here, I do just want to kind of go through what prompted me to want to make this video and my experience with this handgun right here. So for all of you internet wizards out there, we are clear. We have no magazine in the gun. We have nothing in the chamber. So we're good to go. We are safe. Now, I haven't done one of those in a very long time, but I know some people get upset. So there you go. Now, with that being said, so why do I choose this handgun? And for me, this is the old reliable. This is the handgun that I always come back to, because when I try out different handguns, either A, there's two things that usually happen. Either A, they're like super high speed guns, like 2011s or something like that, where if you don't clean them properly, if you don't lube them properly, if the sun isn't in the right place that day, you have malfunctions, you have issues with the reliability. And that's number one. That's the biggest problem I have. That it needs to be reliable, number one. So that kind of throws those guns out of the running for me, because as great as they run, if the gun goes down or you have light primer strikes or whatever it is, you have magazine issues, that's going to ruin your time in a competition. That's going to ruin your life in a self-defense situation. So those are out of the question for me. So after that, the next thing is, even with guns like the Springfield Echelon, which I really like, which I think has a lot of small things that are better than the Glock, certain little things. With a gun like that, the problem is I always come back to the Glock because I have the absolute confidence in this thing. And even though those handguns, the Echelon specifically, I've had no malfunctions with through all the rounds I put through those, zero issues, I still have the most confidence in this gun right here because I have the most rounds, the most time, the most dry fire, the most trigger presses with this gun out of any gun, actually, probably out of any gun. If you don't count FRT type stuff on the AR-15s, I have more rounds through this gun than any other gun that I own. So by a pretty good margin, I would say. Not any one gun, definitely not all the ARs that I review combined, because I shoot a lot of rounds through those. The nature of the reviews, and I don't do as many pistol reviews anymore as I used to, because I'm kind of over pistols. Like this is the one, this is it. This is the gun, this is the handgun that I want, this is the one that I need, this is the one that never malfunctions on me, and it just works every single time. Is it the best trigger in the world? No. Is it like a great trigger compared to an AR-15? Absolutely not. Compared to a Staccato XC? No, it's not. Compared to many other handguns, it's not the greatest pistol in the world. But it's not about the trigger press. It's about the vision and the grip and the skill and so many other things that I don't know enough on a high enough level to speak to you guys about. But I do just want to give a big shout out to my friend Rob at Pafania. He has a program called the Accelerator Program, which I do have on my discounts, my affiliates page over on the website's the discounts page. So you can use that, and it does support the channel when you guys sign up for it. Now, what that is pretty much a framework for you guys. It's a virtual classroom essentially to teach you guys. And for me, coming up in sports my whole life, it's been extremely valuable. But it pretty much gives you a structure to follow for dry fire, for live fire, setting up your holster. It really starts from the beginning. So no matter where you're at in your shooting journey, it can help you wherever you are. And it also creates a community. There's all kinds of meetings. We talk about your wins. It is geared more towards USPSA style shooting, which, as we all know now, practical shooting, that type of shooting is applicable for everybody, including military and law enforcement, and especially into the civilian world. As fast as you can shoot, putting the shots where you want them to go. But he is a grandmaster shooter for USPSA. He's a phenomenal shooter, and he walks you through everything and how he got to where he's at, and it does help you improve, but you have to do the work. Just like not going out and buying a Staccato XC, or you insert here your Fowlers of the world, right? Go out and buy a $5,000 2011, it's not going to make you a better shooter if you don't put in the work. Is it a little bit of a cheat code? Yeah, sure. But really the dry fire, shooting, getting the reps behind the gun are the way to get it. Just like you can't go to the gym and watch people work out and get a good body, right? You can't just buy the gym equipment, put it in your garage and get in shape. You have to put in the work. And it's the same thing with shooting. So Rob's course, the Accelerator course, is extremely valuable. And if you guys are interested in signing up, go to rangedaybro.com and check it out. It's on the discounts page. So I just want to give him a shout out because he's a big part of the reason that I have been absolutely crushing with this pistol lately and that course specifically. So let's talk about that real quick. So I think it is extremely important to have one gun that you do everything with, because even though I do YouTube full time, I still only get to the range once, or really usually like twice a week, sometimes more often, sometimes like once a week. And that is a lot more than the vast majority of people get to the range. That's why dry fire is so important. I would argue dry fire is more important than live fire in a lot of instances, because you can do it every day, you can do it consistently, and that kind of adds up. But it's so important for guys who can't get to the range that often to just have one gun that they understand, they know intimately, and that they have a lot of reps, a lot of confidence with. With all this shit going on with the P320 right now, I am very reluctant to move away from this gun because it is so good at everything it needs to be, and it is ultra reliable, and I have the confidence in it. But I shoot, everything I shoot nowadays for handgun is with this gun, because not only can I conceal it, I'm 6'1", 260 pounds approximately, so I can conceal this thing pretty well. It's a big gun, especially with a Surefire on here and the TXC covert holster that you see right here. So it is a large setup on the belt, but I can conceal it very well, even in the summertime with a t-shirt. I just have to size up my t-shirt so that I'm be a little baggy. But I absolutely love this thing, and it's so, I think it's, again, so important to do everything with one gun so you get very good with it, you become very comfortable with it, and you know how to use it. It kind of seems silly to me, guys who will compete with, like, have a competition gun and then have a different gun for carry and a different gun for their war belt. I mean, if they're all like the same, if they're all a Glock 19, just a little bit different, I can see that a little bit, but I just think it's like, why wouldn't you want to be the best and compete and become better at shooting fast and accurately with the gun you're going to use to defend your life with? It just doesn't make sense to me. If you are a person who is 2A focused, right? You want to become the best prepared citizen that you can be, the best defender of your family, your loved ones that you can be. Why not take the same gun to competitions, get more reps with it, get better at shooting it fast and accurately? That's just where my mind lies. And then also, just getting back to the original point, is it's all about grip, it's all about vision, it's all about getting the reps, understanding the recoil, not trying to fight the recoil, but understanding it so you can time your shots better. And if you can do all that in a competition, then you're just gonna be that much better if you ever do need to use this in a life or death situation, which is the whole reason I train, is so that if I ever have to use this, I can have extreme accountability for my shot placement, because that's gonna matter if you're in a mall, if you're out in public. It's gonna really matter where your bullets are going. So with that being said, that is kind of the idea behind this handgun. That's kind of the idea behind why I only shoot this handgun anymore. I've decided that unless it's something like super cool or unique, I'm probably not gonna review any more handguns into the future. I mean, it probably will. This is kind of like my G45 at home. This is a Glock 19X. So let's just talk about this setup real quick. And I'll tell you guys really quickly, just let's get it out of the way because I will forget. The only other two handguns I'm really interested in right now are the Glock 43X MOS, because it is slimmer than this handgun. It is a little bit easier to conceal when you're in summer clothing, and it's a little bit less uncomfortable to carry for long periods of time, because every time I leave the house, I'm carrying my gun. So it's a little bit more comfortable. I'm giving up the shootability for the comfort in that situation. I'm interested in one of those. I've had one of those in the past. I actually ended up giving it to a friend, but I'm thinking about getting another one now that Radian has their own barrel afterburner ramjet combo for that gun. It was a very snappy gun. So now that that exists, I'm considering getting one again for those reasons I just mentioned, and also the Glock 47, because it has a full length slide with a 19 length guide rod and spring, which from when I've only shot it in very limited times, I only shot like about 2 mags through it. A buddy has one, and he actually has a ramjet afterburner ramjet combo on his, and it shot phenomenally flat. And again, one of the harder parts to conceal on a handgun is the pistol grip. So a longer slide isn't really going to be the end of the world. It does shoot, it does shoot noticeably flatter, I would say, than this handgun, just noticeably flatter. But I'm already running an X300, so the holster is what it is. So I have some room in my holster to actually add some slide length if I wanted to without becoming any more uncomfortable. So I am interested in the 47 COA because I like the optic mounting system and I like the enclosed emitter concept. So those two are the only other two guns that I'm really kind of interested in. I do still like Smith & Wesson. I have the M&P Metal Carry Comp, which is a great gun as well. That is a gun I would consider doing, but it's just like this one, there's nothing wrong enough with this one to make the switch. And I have so much time, so much confidence, so much positive, energy with this handgun that it would just, I don't know what would need to happen. Something would have to happen catastrophically with this handgun, which I pray to God never does, in order for me to want to switch. That's kind of where I'm at. Like something like this is so far in the lead as far as me loving this thing and trusting this and being confident with it, that something major would have to happen for me to make the switch. So with that being said, let's go over this thing from blast end to ass end as we always do here on the channel, talk about the upgrades that are on here because it is in stock, completely stock. But let's start with the most important thing, which is the trigger and all the internal components of this handgun are 100% stock. All Glock OEM parts all came with this handgun. This is actually not the original slide from this grip. It is in fact the original. So this is actually the original slide from this 19X. And this slide right here is actually from this gray Glock 19 frame. So as you guys probably can tell, they are interchangeable. So just so you guys know, this guy was kind of the main squeeze. This tan slide was on top of this 19X frame for a very long time with the PMM comp. Now, why did I make the switch? The PMM comp is great. It works great. I really have nothing bad to say about it. As far as recoil reduction, they both are about the same, I would say. Maybe a little bit more with the Ramjet. It's very hard to tell. They're pretty equal. But the biggest issue that I have with the PMM is that once I put it on with Rockset, I really have never been able to remove it. And I haven't been able to like take it out, clean the slide off or anything like that. Plus it's just a little bit longer as well, as you guys can tell right here. Let me see if I can line them up perfectly for you. Let's see. See if I can line these guys up. Bring that guy down. There we go. So you guys can see right there how much longer the PMM comp is, which again doesn't really matter because the Surefire is so big. But when you line them up exactly, right in line, it's like a whole like half an inch longer. But it doesn't really matter the way that I have it sitting today. But I just like the ability to be able to take this little set screw out. They have a little tapered screw over here on the Radian, and you're able to just back that out and easily remove the comp and then take your barrel out and clean it, completely clean it, clean the slide. Since I've installed this, I haven't been able to get the barrel out because it's just without putting it in a vise and breaking that seal from the Rockset, which, is it really necessary? Not 100%. Because I've had no issues with it as far as reliability goes on that front either. But as far as the length goes, this is more slick of a combo. I put this on a Zafari Precision barrel, which again, I've had no issues with it, so I can't really complain, but I don't love the gold. So again, if I wanted to switch this barrel out for something else, Ballistic Advantage or whatever other barrel, Silencer Co., whatever, it's just a complete pain because I had to time this thing in order to get it to line up perfectly. The install on this was like a 1,000 times easier. So if I had to like redo it and start over again, I probably would have just gone this route from the beginning. But when I bought the PMM comp, this was nowhere. This wasn't even in existence yet. This was like 2 years later, I think, or a significant amount of time after the PMM comp had been put on this this slide and barrel. So now, it is, just getting back to the original point, it is an OEM slide. So this is not an aftermarket slide. It is a Glock, you could see the Glock logo on there. It is a Glock slide. Where it is, right there. You can see it's a Glock slide. And that's important because keeping everything on here OEM is the most important thing. Again, for reliability, for the reasons that I love this gun, which is reliability and my confidence in it, everything needs to be OEM. The trigger, all the trigger components, everything in the lower, everything in the slide is all OEM, including the slide itself. The only changes that we've made to the slide is I sent it out to Maple Leaf Firearms and they milled it with their duty cut. So it's got their little sawtooth on the top, improved serrations in the front, very much deeper and more aggressive and more serrations. And they deepened the serrations in the rear as well. They also, since this was not an MOS slide, they also cut an RMR footprint in here and then moved the rear sight forward for me. I just prefer the rear sight forward. It's not the end of the world. If you don't like that, the only reason I don't like that is because I can't use an SRO on here now because of the or an RMR HD, because the way those optics kind of hang over in the front. But I like it because when you're bringing the gun up and your red dot, when you're using a red dot, you're supposed to remain target focused. You're also supposed to remain target focused when you're using irons. Well, that's actually, I don't really know. I'm not a big irons guy, but I've heard many different things. You focus on the front sight, you focus on the target, or you focus on the front sight and superimpose it on the target. But apparently, a lot of people can shoot irons both eyes open. I'm not one of those people. So I love using a dot for that reason, because I can shoot very easily both eyes open. And when I bring the gun up on target, with that rear sight forward, it's just more of an afterthought than it is when it's in the back. It just kind of, your eye wants to pick up what's closest to you. So when it's not, when there's a pane of glass in between you and the rear sight, it seems to help you. It's a little bit of a cheat code, right? It's still not a replacement for figuring out the best way to be target focused, but it's a little bit of a cheat code in order to help your brain get over that hurdle a little bit faster. So yeah, it does shorten your sight radius, but I've never had a red dot go down on me, so it's not really a big issue for me. I'm not really that worried about it. Okay, so the biggest change on here is going to be the Radian Afterburner and Ramjet combo. This barrel and comp has been absolutely phenomenal. It makes a huge difference over shooting at stock, obviously, and it does give you that bit of a cheat code feeling, right? It does make it shoot more like a 2011, like a Staccato P, or something that's a lot more refined, but you get that Glock reliability and the Glock dependability, the confidence that you get with it being a drop safe, really super durable, gonna run through any kind of dirt and debris and gunk that comes with the Glock name. But you also now have it shooting flat like a 2011, and so that's a pretty huge deal. So with this barrel and afterburner combo, I have about 1,250 rounds through this handgun as it sits today with these two combos. I've had way more through this frame and through this slide, and everything else on here has been shot way more than that. But just with this barrel and the way it sits today, I've had 1,250 rounds through it. And during that time, I had one full competition win. I won a local 2-gun match using this handgun. And then I also had one competition where I won 3 out of 5 stages with this handgun. The only reason I didn't win that competition is because I absolutely bombed stage number 4, which was the stage we started on in squad 4. I shot the stop plate after only having shot like 4 targets. So it went red paper, red steel, and then over to the red steel that was right in front of the stop plate, which was a big 2x30 square. And I was getting ready to move into the next position, and I just shanked one high right. It went about 2 inches high and right of the red plate target. It was a miss, and it hit the stop plate, which then immediately ended my stage. So I ended up with 18 mics and 9 procedural violations on that stage. So great way to start off the match, and was dead last, 33 out of 33 on that stage. And then I had 3 other stage wins with this handgun, and then I came in 10th on another stage. So if I would have even came in probably 5th place on that 4th or like 10th place or anywhere that wasn't 33rd on that stage number 4, I probably would have won the match. But, you know, probably doesn't count. Close doesn't count, only in horseshoes and hand grenades. So, but I'm still very happy with the rest of the match performance, especially those 3 stage wins. And this handgun is a big part of the reason of why I was able to do that. It's really not. It's really Rob. It's really not this gun. This gun is just a placeholder for whatever gun you trust the most with your life. As long as it's not a P320, as long as it's from a reliable company, as long as, you know, Smith & Wesson, HK, you know, you name it, CZ. There's so many good options out there now. Those are the big ones, right? Glock, HK, CZ, Smith & Wesson. There's a lot of great options. So this is just a placeholder for whatever you have the most rounds with, whatever you train with most consistently. But I would also still just recommend Glock, because every time I've tried another handgun, no matter what it is, I always come back to this gun, because either one of those two things happen. Either I don't trust it enough, even though it's giving me no reason not to trust it, right? Like the Springfields, for instance, they've given me 0 reason to not trust them. But I just have that little seed of doubt, and I just have that little bit more confidence with this guy, right? Or they have a malfunction in a match or when I'm shooting, and then that's an immediate disqualification for me. So that's what it comes down to. That's the way it's set up. Oh, let's just go through the rest of the setup as we sit here today. So we have a SLR Rifle Works Magwell. This thing is very well used. You can see it's paint's starting to come off and everything. This is the 19X Magwell. We have the Surefire X300 Turbo in here. Great little white light. It is massive, but it's like 90,000, 80,000 candela or something crazy. It's super bright, nice, good, tight hot spot. Ameriglow, these are the 511G. I'm pretty sure the 511G suppressor height sights with a blacked out serrated rear and a orange with tritium front sight there. Suppressor height, so you can see them still through your dot if my dot were to go down for whatever reason. Just a typical Harrison 507C with a side battery tray. It is multiple reticle, even though I just used the dot. Get the smallest dot you can on your dots, guys. 2 MOA is fine. That's what I would recommend. Again, stock Glock trigger. Let's go through that. Ghost that trigger with you guys real quick. So here we go. A lot of take up, hit a wall, creep, and then a break. I did polish this trigger, which does not remove any material. Did it make a big noticeable difference? I mean, barely a noticeable difference. I kind of think I can notice it, but it's super dirty right now, so I think it kind of got rid of that feeling, but not a bad trigger. Gen 5 Glocks have pretty decent triggers. I mean, they're good enough for a lot of people who shoot a lot better than me. Let's just put it that way. The stipple job and the double undercut were done by Sportsman's Finest. Shout out to my boy Grant over there, my gunsmith at Sportsman's, did this stipple job. It is a bit on the aggressive side. I did request that because I do shoot this in competitions, but it is just a little bit too aggressive. If I could do it all over again, I'd have him go a little bit less aggressive on the side that sticks on the stomach because it does kind of rub me raw a little bit and take my hair out at times, but it looks phenomenal. It feels great. If you guys are wondering what all the white stuff on here, it's not the Hunter Biden Special. That is dry chalk. So in the summertime here, especially on the back of my shooting hand here and on these fingers for my support hand, right here is where I get the most slippage when I'm really sweaty. So I really focus my chalk on here, but I put it all over both hands so that I can make sure I don't lose a grip or I have the most confident grip in this handgun as possible. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. I don't think I left anything out. Pretty much just like train more. The gun doesn't matter. You suck at shooting. And by you, I'm talking to myself. Like, these are all things that I went through. I'm still by no means like some high level shooter. I shoot a lot. I'm very proud of myself and how far I've come, but I also have so much room to go to get to a level of somebody like Rob, right? I mean, if I can ever get there. He's incredibly fast and he works at it every day. So consistency is one of the biggest things, right? It's like a good golfer and an okay golfer. Like, the difference is consistency. It's the same thing with shooting. Like, I can have a good run and then I can have a really bad run, like that first stage, like catastrophic mistake, shooting the stop plate. Like, it was a really stupid and avoidable mistake. Just take my time. It was like a 35-yard shot. I should have taken my time and not just been rushing into the next position. So train the fundamentals, dry fire. Glock is good enough. I'd say Glock is the best, to be quite honest, because all that matters in a gunfight is reliability and repeatability. So this has been 1000% reliable through like thousands and thousands of rounds. And in this configuration, even 1,250 rounds, which isn't a ton yet, but it's a lot. It's enough for me to be confident with it and know that I can trust my life to it. I've also shot my defensive ammo through it. So I did one mag of the Federal HST, which gets very expensive, 124 grain HST hollow points. I shot a mag through it and worked great. So always make sure you're testing your handguns. If you get like a new barrel, like if you get this barrel and afterburner combo, make sure you test it with your self-defense ammo as well to make sure it works. And yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up, guys. If you guys want to support the channel, rangedaybro.com. Check out our discounts page, our loadouts page. Make sure you subscribe to our email list over there. Also, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Rumble. Follow me on X. Let me know what handgun you guys trust your life with, and if you agree with shooting the same gun for competitions as you do for everyday carry and for your war belt and all that good stuff. I want to hear from you guys down below. But until next time, I love you guys. Drink a lot of water. Christ is king. Stay safe. Stay dangerous. Range Day Bro. Out.